We're doing a special for What Do You Do with the City of Davis. Hey everyone, thanks for joining us for a very special episode of What Do You Do, where we're talking about Picnic Day, Picnic Day, Picnic Day. As you may know, Picnic Day this year in 2024 is on April 19th, and it's hosted by UC Davis to welcome students, families, and community members on campus. This day includes a parade, the super cute Doxy Derby, strawberry plants, the chem show, and more than 200 events all throughout campus and all throughout the day. So my special guest with me is Todd Henry. He is the Deputy Police Chief for the City of Davis, and I am going to ask him some questions about Picnic Day. So my first question to him is, what is the role of police during Picnic Day?
That's a great question, Jenny. So first and foremost is safety. Obviously, we want people to have a great time when they visit the City of Davis and the campus. We want to make sure everybody is safe. So there's a lot of events, as Jenny mentioned, including a parade, which requires us to close down some streets, make sure the parade is safe. Oftentimes, sometimes we get some kids who get lost from their parents, so we got to do a reunite. But ultimately, we're just here to make sure everybody has a good time and stays safe.
Awesome. And the Davis Police Department is different than the UC Davis Police Department. Is that correct?
Yeah, we get that question all the time. So the campus is actually technically not in the City of Davis. It's right next to it, but they are separate. And so the campus has its own police department, the UC Davis Police Department. And then once you step into the City of Davis, it's the City of Davis Police Department. But we work very closely together and always have great communication on Picnic Day.
So if you're on campus and something happens, you can call the UC Davis Police Department. Once you are off campus and in the city, like downtown Davis or a park or anywhere else, you should call the City of Davis Police Department. But I'm assuming they can just call 911?
Absolutely. If there's an emergency, always just dial 911. You're going to get routed to the agency that you're in the jurisdiction of. But you can also call the non-emergency number for events that aren't an emergency.
I've heard a little bit about these safety enhancement zones. What is that?
Yeah, so the SEZs are essentially areas where City Council has passed through resolution to increase the fines for municipal violations inside those areas. A big part of why those were developed was excessive drinking and some issues where people were causing problems for the community. So there's a series of them throughout the city. And if you do get a violation or a citation in those zones, it's going to cost you a lot more money.
What are some sample violations that you could get?
Well, one of the big ones is open containers. Drinking in areas where you're not supposed to drink, that violation is going to cost you a whole lot more.
So I'm assuming you can't have an open container of an alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, all the regular laws and ordinance still apply. Picnic Day doesn't change that. You can't be walking down the street with any kind of open container. So we still have to follow all those rules.
So what tips would you have for residents who are experiencing this influx of people to our city?
Be patient. It is a lot of people that come into town for this event. It's a great event. It obviously helps a lot of our businesses. But, there are going to be some road closures, as we mentioned, with the parade early in the morning. So be aware of that. There are going to be some areas inside the parade zone that are going to be marked for no parking. And we'll make sure that those notices go out so people are aware of it. But there's just going to be a lot more traffic. Mm-hmm. So the best thing to do is really just kind of plan out your day appropriately. If you need to get somewhere, try and do it early. Maybe take an alternate route. When you have that many people, mm-hmm. everything's going to be a lot more tight.
Would you say that there are more people that come to Davis as the day goes on, or like as night comes?
Yeah, it's tough to say for sure, but obviously the campus during the day has a lot of events going on. And then as that starts mm-hmm. to kind of close down, we see a lot of people kind of coming into the city to hit restaurants and stuff like that. So it does get a lot busier within the city during those hours.
So what kind of tips would you have for people who are coming to Davis, maybe for the first time? They've heard about Picnic Day from their friends or family. What would you recommend to them?
Kind of the same thing. Have a plan. Be ready. Parking is going to be tough. Make sure that you think about where you're going to go and how you're going to get there. Hydration is a huge thing. It's going to be pretty warm for the most part.
So when you say hydration, you mean water?
Yes, hydration, water. But you know, it's warm out. There's a ton of things to see. You'll be walking around quite a bit. Make sure that you think about it and you hydrate.
So how many people do you think actually come to Davis or attend picnic day?
I would guess it's probably close to 70,000.
That's crazy. That's larger than our regular population in Davis. It gets quite an influx of people that day.
Yep.
So where can people find this information? Like, where can they go? Is there a website? Is there social media?
Yeah, absolutely. So the police department will be pushing it out on their socials, Facebook and Instagram. The city's website will also have it. The Aggie posts a lot of this information, and so does the enterprise. So there's a lot of ways to kind of figure out where these safety enhancement zones and what's going on.
Awesome. Well, there you guys have it, a little sneak peek into picnic day and the work that goes into for our police department. Thank you so much, Todd, for the interview, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.